I just watched my first professional play, Purpose, at La Jolla Playhouse, and honestly, I wasn't expecting it to affect me this much. This play won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama and was named Best Play at the Tony Awards last season 2025, and after seeing it for myself, I completely understand why. But before we get into that, if this is your first time here, my name is Joel, and I create content around plays and musicals, especially across Southern California, so if that's your thing, make sure to stick around and check out my social media after the video. Now let's talk about Purpose. At its core, Purpose tells the story of the Jasper family, a household that from the outside appears to be the perfect American family. They are influential, respected, and deeply connected to Black American political history. But once you step inside their home, you quickly realize that things are far more complicated. The story follows Nazareth Jasper, the youngest of the family, as he returns home for what should be a celebration, his mother's birthday and the recent release of his older brother Junior from prison. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, not exactly. As Nas himself warns the audience, buckle up! And trust me, you should. What starts as a family gathering slowly turns into one of the most fascinating portrayals of dysfunction I've ever seen on stage. But before I continue with my review, I want to show you a quick clip of the immediate reactions we had right after leaving the theater. So, right now, we already watched the show.
Yes, it's just coming out of the theater.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that we have in mind. Can you give us like a general idea of your thoughts about the show?
I think it's the first professional play I've ever seen, and I thought it would be very similar to the musicals that we're used to seeing, but it is quite different. All of the actors performed wonderfully their roles, and they really put you in the scene with them, so you begin feeling all of the emotions that they are portraying and all of the conflict. So all of the emotions are not very positive, and they make you feel like what is happening, like you're there with them, like you're there in the house, and while all of this is happening.
This is like a roller coaster. When you thought that it was already the climax, it's not. Like it continues to go higher and higher, the stakes get higher and higher, and it just continues to do so. It happens a lot of things that it gets hint at the beginning, but it does not unravel until the end, so it just continues to go and on and on and on and on. Like, thankfully there is an intermission, because I mean they give you that little space to breathe. You feel the awkwardness of the being the outsider. Not just that, you also may connect with a few things within our own family drama that we all have, because this is even though there are like their own family, their own stories, you can also feel like if you have a brother, if you have a mother, if you have a father, like those things happened, and maybe not at the same situations like the Jasper family, but you get to identify those things and be like, I've been there, I know how that feels, so I totally relate to it. Well, thank you. Now that you've seen our first impressions, let's dive a little deeper. One of the first things that stood out to me was the production design. The set is surprisingly simple. The entire play takes place on the first floor of the Jasper family's home, with the dining room and living room serving as the primary locations. There are no elaborate scenes changes, no massive set pieces, and no flashy visual effects. And honestly, this show doesn't need them, because the focus is entirely on the people in that room. The lighting design also deserves recognition. Whenever Nas enters one of his personal monologues, the lighting subtly shifts, creating a more intimate atmosphere that almost feels like you're listening directly to his thoughts. Then, as soon as the family's interactions begin again, the room opens back up. It's a simple technique, but incredibly effective. Instead of distracting the audience, every technical element serves the story. And that's exactly what great theater should do. Speaking of the story, let's talk about the performances. While every member of the family plays an important role, the standout to me was Matthew Elijah Webb as Nas. His performance is remarkable. During the monologues, he makes you feel as if you're reading his internal thoughts in real time. Then, the moment he steps back into the family dynamic, he seamlessly shifts into the chaos unfolding around him. It's a performance that feels both personal and incredibly controlled. And honestly, it's one of the strongest performances I've seen all year. But if there's one area where Purpose truly exceeds, it's the writing. The pacing of this play is masterful. Just when a conversation becomes so tense that you feel uncomfortable sitting in your seat, the script finds a way of releasing that pressure, sometimes through humor, sometimes through a character revelation, before immediately building toward the next conflict. It's almost like watching a pressure cooker repeatedly reach its limits without ever exploding completely. The result is a nearly 3-hour play that never feels slow. And that's an impressive accomplishment. Something else I appreciated is how authentic the family dynamics feel. If you've ever experienced a dysfunctional family or even witnessed one from the outside, there will be moments that feels painfully familiar. Some scenes are uncomfortable, some are heartbreaking, some are hilarious, but all of them feels real. And I think that's what makes this play so powerful. And as for my favorite moment, that's difficult. This show tackles so many themes and storylines that it's hard to pick just one, but if you've seen this play, then you probably know exactly why I'm going to mention the Beast. The entire storyline involving the Beast, and especially everything connected to the basement as well, had me completely locked in. I don't think I breathed during that whole sequence. So, is Purpose worth seeing? My answer is yes, absolutely yes. The writing is exceptional, the performances are outstanding, and it's one of those productions that stays with you long after you left the theater. That said, I would add a small warning. This play deals with family trauma, generational conflict, and some emotional heavy topics. So if those subjects are particularly sensitive for you, just know that there might be moments that hit very close to home. But from a theatrical perspective, this is absolutely a show worth experiencing. For me, Purpose earns a 4.5 out of 5. It surprised me, it challenged me, and it left me with that feeling that great theater can create. But now I want to hear from you. Have you seen Purpose here at La Jolla Playhouse? Did you catch it on Broadway? And if you have, what did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments. I also got a lot more theater content coming up soon. I will be reviewing the Sound of Music National Tour, and in the upcoming weeks, I'll also be heading out to the All Glow Theater for Kim's Convenience and back to La Jolla Playhouse for The Monsters. So if you enjoy theater, musicals, and behind the scenes coverage from Southern California, don't forget to subscribe and follow me across my social media as Behind the Encore. And thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you behind the Encore.